Doomsday 3.
Yeah, we had Doomsday 1.
No question in my mind.
He came from one of the toughest areas of his both of his country, of course.
Praying for his safety and
got people on the defense talking about it. You better get your ass to the ball. You better get to the ball.
I just gotta say, when it comes to mortality,
Different.
For sure, and they would have thrown it off because
And this guy gets off you.
Solid from and then I go to bed every night like G man, I promise you that we got a special What is up, Cowboys Nation, and maybe some Eagle fans too. Hopefully you guys are doing good. You had a good weekend. Before we get rolling, make sure again as you're rolling in here, hit that subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, get all that out of the way. Definitely appreciate it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into everything. And hey, at the end of the day, Jimmy and Jimmy D's here. Jimmy, what's up? Before we get
How's it
rolling?
going?
Good. You got to give props where props are due.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles absolutely beat the hell out of the Chiefs, dominated the line of scrimmage. They won the game. It left no doubt. It wasn't in the referee's hands. It wasn't in any of that. And that's what we wanted. We talked about that. That's at the end of the day, you want the game to be won by the best team. And I mean, you got to call it for what it is. The Eagles were the better team that day, and they clearly were the better team. The score, some garbage points. It wasn't indicative of the ass beating that they got. So, hey, they're two-time Super Bowl champions, and I got to be a man of my word. And I said, when you win 2 championships in the NFL in your history, you become a little bit more legit. You're in the club. You're not in the penthouse, but you're in the club. You walk through the door because one doesn't count. But you got to give them their due. Give them their due that they won. So congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, as much as it pains me to say, Jimmy.
Well, 2 things. First of all, a public service announcement before we go any further. Never loan your friends $85. Second thing, Mark, we are not going to talk about the Celtics and Knicks. That's not on the table for discussion tonight. Third of all, I tell you what, man, when it came that first touchdown where there was a push off, they called offensive PI.
Yeah.
I went on Twitter. I said, here we go. It's already starting.
Yeah. And that was questionable.
Like you said, there was nothing left for the referees, any of that shenanigans by the time the game was over. Like you said, Mahomes, his stats were horrible, except for some garbage stats at the end. He would have had, if it wasn't for the garbage, he would have had a touchdown and 2 picks and under 200 yards passing. I couldn't believe how the Eagles defense was raising hell. They were in the backfield all game.
But you remember, Jimmy, I said it on Sunday. I said the only thing that concerns me if I was a Chiefs fan is I saw what the Bills' defensive front, their defensive tackles did to those guards. They picked him up. The Jordan Phillips picked up one and shoved him and threw him in the air at Patrick Mahomes on one play. That was the one thing that concerned me. But, it turned out to be true. And I tell you what, I mean, the Chiefs' defense didn't play bad. I mean, the Chiefs' defense,
No.
I mean, they bottled up Barkley. And you're like, okay, man, if you do that, I mean, if I would have told you Barkley was averaging 3 yards a carry, you'd have said, shit, man, the Chiefs dominated. But the turnovers, it's what Jimmy Johnson always preached. It's not who makes the biggest plays, it's who makes the fewest mistakes. And the Chiefs I think the Eagles might have had more points than they had yards in the first half. I don't know.
Yeah, and I tell you, the biggest play that turned that game that really was like the holy shit moment where you knew things were going to go south for the Chiefs was that pick 6 for DeJean. DeJean, whatever his name, Cooper. Yeah, when that happened, I said, wow, this is no joke now. So unless there was a monumental collapse, which unfortunately I know too much about, then
that's what I kept thinking about it, Jimmy, in my mind. I'm like, all right, well, the before that, then he threw the pick before the half. I'm like, all right, they're going to go down and score. It'll be like 20. I forget if it was 17-0 or whatever it was at the time. I said, all right, they score here. They get the ball back. They score. Now we got a game going. Now we got something going on. But he threw that pick right before half. like, inside their 15 or whatever it was. And I mean, it was game blouses, as they say. I'll say this. I was asleep. I didn't even see the end of the game. I said, you know what? I might as well go to bed. I mean, I fell asleep, went to bed, and never saw the ending. I didn't see any celebration. I didn't care to. And this was honestly the one Super Bowl I was telling a buddy of mine, this is the first Super Bowl I didn't watch anything. Like, I didn't see like all the hype leading up to it.
Yeah.
Usually I get into the hype, I get into all this stuff. And there was nothing, man. I just wasn't into it. It was probably one of the worst, just as a fan, probably one of the worst Super Bowls. It reminded me so much of the Denver-Seattle. I kept telling people, I mean, this is Denver-Seattle all over again.
Well, and to your point, and to Kelly's point, Kelly Lawson, I didn't care for either team. We all hate the Eagles. Everyone knows that. I'm no Eagles fan. The Chiefs, I'm sick and tired of that act between the soap opera shit with the this and that and the freaking them getting calls all year long. So I'm with Camel Piper, the 49ers fan, his brother Moose, the Giants fan, and myself. And I'm like, who the hell are we getting besides the boxes on the damn picks? Who are we rooting for? And I guess, you know what? Camel Piper came up with a good point that I kind of had to roll with. He's like, if the Chiefs three-peat, they knock the Yankees off for the last team to three-peat.
There you go.
So I'm like, okay, you got me. I got one of my numbers to hit, and I missed a nice jackpot by this much.
Well, I didn't do it. I was mainly with fans of no Eagles, no Chiefs fans. So it was some Bronco fans. They were rooting for the Eagles. You had some Cowboy fans rooting for the Chiefs. You had some Bucks fans rooting for the Eagles because they didn't want the three-peat. It was just like it was all back and forth. It was all back and forth. And the other thing, with the game, and I said it before, is like, hey man, if they three-peat, Mahomes, you're going to put him in that conversation with Brady. There's going to be no conversation. No. I don't think there'll ever be a conversation. That was a terrible performance in the Super Bowl. That's twice he's got it kind of manhandled and blown out. So I think the GOAT status of Tom Brady is probably safe, for a long time.
Well, and not for nothing, and maybe I'm reading into it too much or whatever, but I saw when Mahomes before the game, he just looked, I don't know, his eyes were a little puffy. I don't know if he was maybe sick or under the weather.
Saw that look in his eye.
Yeah, that's right. He was
in his eyes?
Scared. You know what the Eagles are saying? I'm the new champion. I'm the new champion tonight.
We should have clipped that. That would have been classic. Damn.
Yeah.
I should have did that. That would have been great. But no, I agree. Well, someone said that if you watch the game, especially then, Mahomes was doing no audibles. He wasn't checking the defense. He just was calling. I mean, it was almost like, he said he quit, but he's a Patriots fan. He's a big Tom Brady fan. So he was just emphasizing that Brady was so much better. Brady was there to witness it. So that made it even better for him. Because, Brady didn't want Mahomes.
Of course not.
Mahomes, if they would have three-peated, Mahomes is legit in that conversation. I mean, 4 Super Bowls in 7 years or whatever it is. He would definitely be in the conversation. Yeah, we got to hear that "Fly Eagles Fly." But I tell you what, man, God. You got to take it. You got to give credit where credit is due. That team, and it's funny, Nick Sirianni, for all our Cowboy fans, maybe this is something you hope for, but Sirianni was talking about it after the game, and he said that collapse they had in 23, where everything fell apart and blown out in the playoff. He said that really set the tone for them in this year. The free agency, the ownership and general manager went out and improved in the areas that they were weak, and you hope. I mean, it's a big hope for the Cowboys if you're a Cowboys fan that Jerry and the coaching staff and they see that and they try and fix and remedy the areas, but actions speak louder than words, right?
We talked about this during the free agency this past offseason. We talked about it in the summer. We talked about it in training camp. They make moves. You got to give credit to the front office. They pick people up, and we all said it. Everybody in the chat said it. You said it. Kelly said it. and that's what they do. And like you said, you got to give the devil their due. I mean, the city's on fire right now. They're burning the place apart. But
at least they're not eating horse shit this time. They've kind of stepped their game up a little bit. You got
Exactly.
You got to appreciate that. You got to give them love for that.
God, well,
didn't someone like fall off a pole to go to the Super Bowl and
yes,
were they paralyzed
dude,
or something?
yeah,
Hopefully
and that was no joke. That dude.
No, I mean, hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
That's not smart. That's not
No,
smart to do. I mean, I'm just saying it's not.
I know.
I'm not doing that. I'm not climbing up a pole because my team is going to the Super Bowl.
No,
I mean,
that's
I'll hoot and holler with the best of them, but I'm not doing anything stupid.
well. So and so SoCal, he's not a little horse shit now. You know what? I'm surprised, and I'm happy so far. I'm probably jinxing this. No Carl tonight, so that's a good thing so far.
No, Carl and Bobby are probably celebrating, and they should. Like I said, if they come in here and they talk this, they have every right to. Me personally, I've said it a million times. I would never. I'm not sitting on an Eagles show. I'm not, an Eagles podcast and listening to them or whatever. If I'm a Cowboys fan, but we do appreciate, and I'm a sports fan, so I'll trash talk with all of them. But at the end of the day, you give credit where credit's due. They won the Super Bowl. They deserve to puff their chest out. They're the champs for the year. But at the end of the day, next year's a new season, and the odds makers are already out, and it's still the Chiefs, and it's still the Ravens, and it's still the Bills in there, and we'll see, and the Eagles are up in there too. But we'll see what happens with the offseason. And like I said, if you're a Cowboys fan or really any fan of these other teams, the Eagles are they're the pecking order. They're the top.
They are
They're
right
the
now.
creme de la creme. How do you knock them down, and what can you do to hurt, to better your chances and hurt theirs? And it does hurt, EJ. It sucks.
Yeah, I got a button, and I'll get to that in a sec. I got a buddy who works with me, and he's an Eagles fan. He's going to the parade on Friday. I said, good luck with
on
that.
Valentine's Day, they're doing
On Valentine's, old lady gave him the permission slip, so he's allowed to go in. And he said, you know what? Based on what he saw last night, he said he's probably going to just take the train in instead of parking his car down there.
Oh, I wouldn't. There's no way in hell I would bring my car down there. There's
No.
no way in hell I would do that.
No.
I mean, it's going to be an interesting event, and hopefully everyone, no one gets hurt.
Event.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there. God only knows with that city. They're definitely a different breed. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is. It's city of brotherly love.
It is the city of brotherly love. I watched a movie, Unstoppable. My wife, my daughter, I was talking about my daughter had her last cheer event, her senior year. This was her last shot. So it's the end of the road. The last time we saw her, it's a little emotional and it was tough. So she stayed the weekend, and they did because it was in Orlando, they do a whole Disney weekend with so many 30,000 cheerleaders. God, it was a national championship event for high school. And so I got home, Saturday. So I watched some movies. So I watched Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams. And I'm just telling you, I forgot how funny that movie was. I mean, there's so many lines, how great it was. But then I watched a movie called Unstoppable. And it's a story of the wrestler who he got his leg, was obviously missing a leg. And he became a national champion in high school and wrestled in college and wanted to go to Iowa. And obviously he didn't get, no one wanted him. So he ended up walking on. It's a great story, inspirational story, true story. But the long and the short of it is, the championships were in Philadelphia, and one of his biggest inspirations was Rocky. And he went up did all the stairs. And I didn't know this, but up there, maybe Jimmy, they actually have kind of a plaque, and it has Rocky's footprints, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky's footprints. And it says Rocky and all that on there. I don't know if you know that.
Yes. No, I went up there because my kids, they've had tournaments down there in Philly, and I ran up the stairs. You got to run up the stairs, but
yeah, absolutely.
The plaque, the footprints up there, and then the Rocky statues actually, because that's the art museum. That's the Philadelphia Art Museum. But the statue's down the stairs now, and it's actually pretty cool. It's Philly's not a bad.
No, I went there for the Super Bowl, and they treated me great. They called my kid a mother effer at 12 years old. So I mean, they were very welcoming to. They were very welcoming to guests that weren't from Philadelphia. So, but the only part that frustrated me and upset me the most was I wanted to see the Rocky statue, but they did the draft there. And so the Rocky statue was blocked off by the stage, so you couldn't see it. So I couldn't get over there to get I was pissed.
That sucks.
And you couldn't go up the stairs. You couldn't do so that was the shitty part about it. But yeah, I would never go to Philadelphia.
They got good cheesesteaks there. Geno's and Pat's is good. And I guess Skinny Joey's opening his cheesesteak plate. But you know what? Unless something crazy comes up and I got something going on down there, I don't see myself. Although Camel Piper, his kid's got a tournament down there this weekend. He's got to go Friday, and the damn parade
he's got to go Friday? He better not wear his 49ers stuff.
No.
His car will be set on fire.
And his car is like 49er red. So you can't miss it. They won't even need to know. They don't need to see his shirt. It'll be on fire like that.
Yeah, no.
But not, you know what? It's funny. Dominic, my kid, he was the first producer of the show back in the day 3 years ago. And I had him.
He got us going. What are you talking about?
He got it. You know what? Yeah, because we didn't know shit about this podcast and stuff, the cameras or anything. So I went up the stairs with him, kind of like they did in Rocky with the camera on the side. Actually came out pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Doug, he can go to the parade. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
Wouldn't that be funny? And I was saying, like, if Dallas if it ever gets to that point where they go to the Super Bowl someday, hopefully, I would do the Super Bowl event, because I think a lot of people do that, right? They go there for the event. They don't go to the game. Like, I'm not paying to go to the game. So I would do something where you're at the event. And then I would fly to Dallas and do it like Texas Live and like hang out with the Cowboy fans, do something like that. And then I would fly and do the parade. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, I obviously, like I've said a million times, in the 90s, you took those years for granted. You took them for granted, I regret it. And I wish I would have. I did go to a game during their Super Bowl run. I did go to a game at Texas Stadium, but I wish I would have appreciated those times more. But it's hard to win a Super Bowl, as Cowboy fans can attest. So you got to give the Eagles their due. They've won a couple in the last 10 years.
It's crazy when you think about it. Like you said, I remember the Cowboys era, because that's the last time my New York Rangers won a Stanley Cup. Damn it, it's been a long time. The Knicks haven't won. The Falcons, since before I was born, the Falcons haven't won ever. We've been to two. It's like, the Yankees, of course, are the Yankees. We all know that. But it sucks when you think about it. It's been that long. Yeah. We were in just out of high school.
No,
I think you in your sixth year of high school, weren't you?
No, probably. Talking about the Super Bowl again, like the MVP, didn't you think, like, I know it's a quarterback award now, pretty much. It's an offensive award, a quarterback, but that defense was just, Sweat. I mean, I would have given it to him. I would have given it to, it should have been like co-MVPs, but I don't know. I know they don't like doing that anymore. But I mean, Jalen Hurts, obviously, he played a nice game, but that game was won by the defense. Make no mistake about it. And I think it's kind of almost like the MVP of the league has become a quarterback's award. I think the Super Bowl MVP has kind of become a quarterback or offensive award now,
which is ridiculous, because it should be. And look at he had good stats, Jalen Hurts. I mean, like 65, 70 yards rushing. He had 2.25 passing. Yeah. A good day, nothing overwhelming. To your point, it should have been Sweat, but like you said, they're going to
I saw some the whole defensive line. I mean, they didn't blitz at all. They got pressure with their four. They dominated with not even sending the house and doing all that crazy exotic stuff. That's was crazy. And I'm telling you. We talked about it, man. The Jalen Carter, I know. I mean, how the hell did he fall to them in 10? I mean, and they got the other, was it Smith? I mean, they got these guys, in the draft. I mean, it's. I mean, I hate to say it, it's going to be a problem. The Cowboys better get their shit together. Falcons better get their shit together. Everyone in the NFC better get their shit together, because that defense is young. I mean, it's not like, I don't think there's going to be a big implosion of this team, and that defense is legit, man. I hate to say it.
The defense is strong. Now, the defense is strong, but I don't see them being, I mean, they're obviously going to be a contender, but I don't see them being this dynasty.
I don't think they'll be a dynasty.
Sweat is actually, I think he's a free agent, if I remember right.
He might be, because they had a couple guys they traded, so we'll have to look at it. Well, there's a couple guys they traded. Ken Dorsey, finally, I've been asking and begging and pleading. We're going to get into that, but you stole my thunder. You get at least someone from the U, a national champion, no less. Get some championship pedigree in here. That's what I like to see. I don't think Washington. I disagree. I don't think. I think Washington got lightning in a bottle. Go back and look at those games. I think they'll be better. And I think if the Giants, if the Giants, they get Cam Ward, they get a quarterback and that quarterback ends up being legit. I think when your division, I want Washington to be good, Philly to be good, because it's gotta wake you up and you got to be competitive too. It makes you more hungry. And the crazy thing with the NFC East is they haven't had a repeat division winner in over 20 years. That's insane.
Boy, here we go. SoCal already throwing out the.
Well, I'm not going to argue it. I don't think Jalen is. I'm not putting Jalen in Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, any of that range. But right now, if you want to say that he's better than Dak, I really don't have a big argument. I really don't. They're two different players. I think what Jalen lacks in his arm, he makes up in his legs. And I think that's got to count for something. That's got to count for something.
Cuts contributing to the
contributing to the show and helping Jimmy's fun. Now I will say, Cuts stole my thunder. You guys in the channel, you guys know Cuts by Jones. He has started a YouTube channel, and it's not podcast. He's not going to be running around doing live show, acting like a fool. But what he is doing, he's bringing you into the life of Cuts, and it's the culture of Cuts. And you guys need to get over there. I'll put it in a link so you guys can go hit subscribe. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel and definitely show some support. I watched the first couple episodes, the first two shows, whatever you want to call them, and they were entertaining.
It started already?
He don't mess. He's not playing.
You need to put it in there.
I'm looking it up now as you're talking.
All right.
And I'm gonna put the link in the chat. And let's see.
Well, while you're doing that, Jeff, you know what? Here's the thing. What you guys got is you got a front office problem in Dallas, man. That's your guys' problem. You need to get a real GM up in there.
Yeah.
You
know what? And you know what Cuts needs to do? He is just starting out, so he's got 12 subscribers.
We need to increase that.
We got to increase it, so you guys got to show him some love. But the crazy thing is if you go to Culture Cuts, not Culture of Cuts, Culture Cuts, they got like 70,000 subscribers. So what he needs to do is he needs to filter some of those people over, because once you know Cuts, you love them, whether you're going to the Culture of Cuts or Culture Cuts or whatever the hell it is. So hopefully he can pick up some subscribers that way too. So,
yeah, exactly.
I like it.
But yeah, so to that point, that's your guys'. I think that's the Cowboys' biggest issue is the front office. It ain't, obviously every team can upgrade personnel in one way or the other, but you guys got a front office problem, man.
You think so?
Yeah. I was waiting for no shit, Sherlock.
I know. Well, here, let me put this in there. I put the link in there for you guys. So now there's no reason why you can't go show some love to our man Cuts and support him, because he does great work on top of it. Plus, he's a great friend. We are going, Cuts and I are going to Eugene Lockhart. I was invited, and Cuts is my +1. You understand that? He's my +1. I've been invited to the induction of Eugene Lockhart into the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. So that is the end of the month. So Cuts and I are going, and he's my date, and we're going to be doing some live videos, and we're going to be recording some stuff, and we're going to be having a good time. Not recording anything like that, Jimmy, but recording the Hall of Fame ceremony and recording stuff with Eugene Lockhart and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time, and I think, Cuts said we're going to meet another cool guy out there. Maybe meet Teague out there, catch up with him while we're there, and hopefully maybe some of you guys. Maybe hopefully. Thank you for looking cuts up.
I just subscribe also.
We'll meet up with any of you guys, Cowboys Nation. If you guys are going to be around that Saturday, I think it's March 1st or something like that. Whatever it is, give us a holler. We'll be around. Cuts and I'll be around making the rounds somewhere in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So
now, can you do if you guys are together? Can you do like the podcast on both channels at the same time, or how does that work?
No, we can, but we're probably not going to do live stuff. We'll probably just record a few things. I may do a live, like a quick video on my phone or something like that, just letting everyone know where we're at. But he went out and bought some high tech equipment. So I used, he's like, hey man, what am I supposed to do? So I said, well, I use this little camera thing. You've seen it, Jimmy. I bring that around with me.
I have vague recollections.
Yeah. So he went out and he got some equipment. He bought that. A beautiful. His video quality is there. He's got the wireless mic. I mean, he's a professional. You understand? A professional at this. And so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Man, he's already the big time, a big shot. He must have been taking some advice from Mike Tag.
Well, the thing I don't want, and I don't want him to get too big where he forgets where he came from, forgets his voice. My man Tuck, I watched a video of my man Tuck, and he is just another great friend. And I got to see, I seen, him start up, and I was on his Fan Friday show, and I always tell the story. And he is out on Radio Row. He is doing interviews. He's interviewing people. He's interviewing, at the Super Bowl thing and Des Bryant, everything. And so proud of him. So awesome to see. And he's one of those guys where he's always like, I could, we can call him up right now and come on the show. You know what I'm saying? But I guess some people are hating on him and giving him some flack and, being I don't know what the whole community, the content community is and people out here, but I'm no part of it. No. I mean, Jay Tuck basically said he started. I think we have a countdown of February 10th. Everyone can go F off. There's only going to be a limited amount of people he's talking to. Hopefully the Cowboys cave makes the cut. I got to check with him to make sure, but I got to see what the hell's going on, but hopefully everything is good. There's going to be haters out there, Jimmy, you know that, but you can't let those guys take away from the great people you're hanging with and the great people that you're chilling with.
It is. They people, like you said, they're jealous. He made it to the big time. He's a big shot right now. And like you said, everybody's got to hate. And you're right. I mean, he busted his ass and did what he had to do. So good for him. And there's always going to be people jealous.
And Jimmy, I've watched this. I've watched Tuck. I've talked. He busts his ass like this whole, obviously his job, and I got a family. I only do a couple days. I do a weekend. I might do a video here and there. This guy is like breaking down film, and he's doing this, and he's got his job, and he's got his family, and he's doing. He put the work in. So no one is happier. I can just tell you than myself. Whenever anybody, if I see Cuts, as long as Cuts doesn't ignore me, but if Cuts gets so big and famous, and he blows up, man, no one's going to be happier than me. So, but
yeah, what he's got a boatload of subscribers now.
Who?
Tuck. Jay Tuck.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
I'm telling you, when I was on a show, I was 200 and I was like 212. He had 212 subscribers, but he does a lot. What I've learned too is the draft content. He does very good draft content. He puts his work into it. I got to hand him to it. But people soak up the draft content. I did a mock draft, and that thing I ended up picking up over 100 new subscribers just from the mock draft. So that helps open the eyes to what we do. But people love the draft. That's why people wanted this season over. As soon as Cowboys lost 3 games, the season's over. We got to work on the draft. I got to figure out who the hell we're drafting. So that's not just the Cowboys. That's like every team. As soon as you're out of the playoffs, they don't want to talk about the draft.
And the funny part is, I've tuned in, and I don't know anything about college football, so I'm not going to come on here and waste everybody's time. But when you've had those mock draft shit, man, there's a boatload of people watching. It is,
I love it. I love it too, though. It's fun to be the GM, and it's fun to kind of figure out what'll happen. And the only problem with a lot of those mock drafts is it grades you on probability. And there was a player from Miami. Arojo, he's a tight end. He's a phenomenal tight end. And I got him in the 5th round on my mock draft. And people are like, I wouldn't have taken him. I wouldn't take a tight end. I said, dude, First of all, that dude ain't going to be there in the 5th round. And if he's there in the 5th round, I'm taking him. I don't care if I got the best tight end in the NFL on the team. I'm taking that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, we've talked about
now
it.
First round. Now they're talking about him creeping into the 1st round, or early 2nd. I mean, that's how things change so fast. And you'll see, Jimmy, when the combine comes out and the guys do their 40 times, and they do this, they do that. It's going to you're going to see the draft change even more. So,
and it's like we always said, you take the best athlete, the best player out available.
There you go. SoCal's the best available player.
Yeah, there you go. He beat me
best
to it.
Available player. Absolutely.
Exactly. Hey, I got news for you. If you guys want Kyle Pitts, he's available for trade for some draft capital.
Well, I did a little segment, and it's like stay or go. And because now, the offseason has started, right? So now you're looking, and it's stay or go. Like Aaron Rodgers is probably gone. What are the Falcons going to do to Cousins? What is Myles Garrett? He wants out. Do you think you think the Browns are they're going to get rid of him? What about Sam Darnold? I mean, he had this magical year, but don't forget they drafted the kid from Michigan in the 1st round. What are they going to do there? Are they going to bring Darnold back? Are they going to, you got this rookie here? I mean, there's so many. This offseason, I think, is going to be very interesting. Kyle Pitts. You talked about Kyle Pitts.
Yes.
I mean, you don't know Rodgers. Boy, Rodgers to Minnesota would be like, is that like following Brett Favre's career to a T?
I know, right?
Yeah.
But it's what you call it? Who else? There was another big name on free agent. Damn it! There's a few big names. I'm trying to.
No, there's some big names.
Wait a minute. You know who wants out? Debo Samuel wants out of San Francisco.
Samuel. They talked about trading. They could be trading him. 49ers are talking about, we're going to do whatever we can to pay Purdy. And I mean, I'm not going to listen. I'm not getting into the bullshit, but like they're saying Micah Parsons, Micah Parsons, and the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons. They're seeing all the money these guys are getting. Like CeeDee Lamb, he said it best is like, can we just stop with the bullshit and let's just focus on winning? Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill. There's so many guys out there that either want out or the teams are going to part ways with, because obviously you don't think Cousins will be back next year for any reason, do you?
No, just to collect a paycheck. That's about it. He's going to be back.
They're not. Falcons aren't going to bring him back, would they?
No. Okay. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I trust Terry Fontenot. We'll see what he has to say. But Penix is a starter moving forward. And what about Stephon Diggs, right? I wouldn't want him. He's a troublemaker.
I would not want him.
He's still gonna sign for big money somewhere.
Yeah. I would not. I think the best thing for the Cowboys is to get a receiver in the draft, either the 1st round or the 2nd round. And depending on where Genti goes, I would go in the 1st round. If there's a feasible trade return, is there as far as a player? No. As far as a player, NFL player, I would say no. Only because if you look at Myles Garrett, you look at the money that they demand. I think you can get a equal player at that position, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. And I hate to do dollars and cents in the piece of the pie, but I mean it does. It's got to count for something. Now, would I trade a 2nd? Would I trade a 3rd? Would I package something up like that? Sure, I would do that all day. But a top 12 pick, I'm taking a player. I am not trading away from that.
And we have two people, or we have Jeff saying that Cousins is going to Vegas, and we have Bugsy saying Russell Wilson's going to Vegas. So we'll see.
Who the hell's going to Vegas?
Cup, Devontae, Cooper Cup, Godwin.
Cooper
that's
Cup.
Right.
Yeah,
T. Higgins.
Devontae.
T. Higgins, too, I think.
Yeah. T. Higgins is a free agent. I think Godwin's a free agent. Those, I'm not really counting those, but it'll be we need to, what does that say? I couldn't see it. Draft day.
Put on your glasses, damn it.
I know. You need a draft day movie style trade, 3 first rounds. Oh, swap 1st round. Yeah. I mean, it'd have to be crazy. It'd have to be like Herschel Walker-esque. I just can't part ways high of a pick for a contract. a player that you're going to carry this big contract. So,
I tell you, it's funny when I was talking to because Rodgers, he's out. Camel Piper seems to think that he's going to finagle his way into San Francisco because he's from the Bay Area.
He is from there.
I don't know how that works or looks with Purdy, but he seems to he don't want that, but he's a little worried that might happen.
But they would have to part ways with Purdy.
Yes, exactly, which would be stupid.
You're not gonna. It
would be stupid.
But is Purdy really a difference? I'm not. What does he say? What does Camo? Does he? He
likes Purdy.
He does. He's the man. I just don't know. I don't know.
This season it's kind of like the Cowboys. There was so many damn injuries. You can't really. That's tough.
No, I know.
And I'm a shill. I'm a shill for Purdy. So that's the way I feel. I said what I feel. But he likes him a lot. He likes him a lot, but he is worried that Rodgers might come in and try to, which would be stupid. Rodgers is over the hill, and Purdy hasn't played anybody.
That's true. Yeah, I know a lot of people talk about Vegas. I know a lot of people that are going, that are down to do the Vegas. For me, it really depends on the schedule because, like I tell you guys, man, my money is tied up in the Cowboys at home. So I've got to either, the road game, the Carolina road game is perfect because I work in that area. I can mix in a little work and fun on the weekend kind of thing. And it's an easy flight. Vegas is far.
Gotta have smarts
all the way over there. Yes. Gotta have smarts. So the Vegas one, unless it was perfect in the schedule, that's what it'd have to come down to.
I think Rick's right. I think Purdy's going to get at least $50 million a year. It's crazy what these guys are making, isn't it?
It must be crazy. It's big money, right? But when is the bubble going to burst? And what I mean by that is like the have and have nots, the disparity in salaries between these guys. That's got to cause. Wouldn't it cause a little bit of kind of animosity in the locker room? I'm surprised. It has to. I'd be shocked.
Of course it does. Of course it does. And you know what? These contracts are going to get fatter and fatter with the DraftKings and all the gambling. I'm sorry. The NFL is the NFL, and we all love it. We watch it. It blew up. It started with fantasy football, and then with all the betting and all this other stuff. That's when it really blew up. I'm sorry. You can tell me I'm wrong, but that's when it went from here to here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see they're having a game in Dublin.
Are they? I know there was one in Australia. They're doing one in Dublin too.
They're doing one in Australia too. I didn't know.
Maybe I read it wrong. Maybe it is Dublin. I thought it was Australia. Am I wrong? Someone help me.
Australia. I know there's one in Dublin. Yeah, and
maybe,
I'm like,
maybe it's not Australia. Maybe I don't know.
Remember,
maybe I'm wrong.
Remember Crocodile Dundee?
Way the hell out there, but what the hell? But I was so against, and I got to be careful because I got a lot of fans in Europe and I got a lot of friends in Europe. Yeah, Australia. Thank you. I'm not crazy. They're doing it in Australia. They're doing a game.
Check out this guy from Australia.
Football in Australia.
Crocodile Dundee. Remember that?
Jesus. But I think it's terrible. They got the Aussie. These home games are so important, Jimmy. Right?
Well, real quickly, that Aussie rules football is no joke. I used to love watching that, and I'll watch it late at night when it's on. They beat the hell out of each other. That Aussie rules.
Yeah,
football.
But they're not going to want to. We don't do that. NFL football is soft compared to that. Now.
It is. They. Fucking, there is no 15 yards and this and that. They take each other's heads off. But yeah, to your point, you're getting boned on the damn home game. You're getting boned on, especially to Australia. It's got to be, even from the West Coast, it's got to be a 12-hour plane flight. That's further than Europe, and I think that's nuts. I get, Mexico because it's here. You're still losing a home game, but it's a normal, almost like a domestic flight. But Europe is minimum 5.5 hours, and Australia, depending on where you are, is at least 12 hours.
Yeah, but then they did the game down in South America where the players were basically locked in a room for safety. Okay. Why are you having games in areas where players' safety is at risk?
Well, and the horrible field conditions. People were getting hurt on that field. But now we were waiting, Carl.
There you go, Carl. And Carl, we've been talking about it for 40 minutes, and we already gave you your kudos. So you're like 40 minutes late, but congratulations.
Yes, exactly. Congrats. And he's getting love in the cave.
You get love it. Hey, we all talk our noise, but at the end of the day, they got it done. They were the better team that day. They deserve the flowers. You deserve to puff out your peacock chest and be able to enjoy it. It's absolutely, it's fun. We give you We give you the love, and then you got about 48 hours, and then we hate you again. And we tell you stink, and we tell you only got 2 Super Bowls, and we got 5. It goes back to the shtick that we do, as NFC East rivals, so to speak. But it's all good.
And you know what? All we got is this lousy stinking X-Lax watch. Okay, but Kelly, he's in. Carl's here every week, so we were expecting that one.
He's no troll. I'm not going to call Carl a troll. He's loyal. I don't know how Carl is in the cave all the time. I do appreciate it, and Jimmy appreciates it, but it puzzles me. But hey, Carl deserves to be. He's a champion. He deserves it. He's going to the parade on Valentine's Day. We're praying for your safety. We don't want you to get hurt. We see people flying out of the poles and falling from the sky. We don't want anything like that. So be careful. Don't drink too much to do anything stupid, and you see what happens.
So SoCal was saying the Eagles couldn't wear green because of some.
Yes. Why are we having NFL games in countries that don't care about football? Football is not a world game. It's an American game. It's an American game.
It is. And you know what? I think that the money they're making is periphery. They're not, I don't see how they're making that much extra money for the expense, for player safety in this case, for the cost it is to fly over there and all this. I don't see how they're making it up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, and look, we got our guy, Frankie.
I love Frankie.
And he tells me what he has to do just to watch a game. It's 2 a.m. He has to watch football. There's no. I mean, what an average fan isn't going to sit and watch stay up till 2 a.m. You're going to have to be a diehard, dedicated fan. You know what I'm saying? There's just no way.
That's what I was talking. I was talking to my friends at work today, and I said, I don't know why they don't move the Super Bowl either A to Saturday or B to 3:00, because if they're looking to hit Europe, it's 6:30 p.m. It's at the minimum 2:30 in the 11:30. 5 hours.
It's late. Yeah,
minimum 11:30, and depending on how Germany would be 12:30.
Yeah. But I just don't think I don't think, and you might get some fans, some diehard fans in the bar, but you're not. I mean, you're not pulling the kind of fans that you get in the United. It's an American game. They love soccer, man.
They like the soccer.
They like the soccer, and there's nothing wrong with that. But look,
there's nothing wrong with it.
Can't we get something? Stay with us and let us. I don't want to give up a home game. Is that being selfish, Jimmy? Am I being selfish because I want my home game? Is that wrong?
I mean, well, look at you. MLB is no longer what you call ruled by American player. Basketball, NBA is not. NHL is not. Football is still only the real American game where it's almost homegrown talent.
Yeah. No, I mean it's true. So I'm just, maybe I'm being, being what does Mark always say, team petty. But damn it, I love my football, and I want my games here. I don't want to have to change anything. I want to watch the games in the United States. I want to watch my Cowboys play here. I don't want them traveling anywhere. I don't want to lose a home game or have to get up late or whatever. I don't want any of that shit.
Yeah, but you see SoCal, between the NBA and the NHL, you get these guys from Eastern Europe and stuff, and they got 26 consonants in their name. I don't know how to say the damn name. So, yes, ice hockey was born in Canada, and it's a North American game. But, again, it's all a lot of European and Scandinavian players.
Yeah.
So is the NBA. So is the NBA.
The NBA, Europe. I mean, Europe, the players are, they're coming over more and more. And it's funny, like we talk about the Dream Team in 92 where they were beating them by 60, 70. That's how much the game's evolved and changed in basketball. I mean, the gap is closed between the United States and a lot of these European countries. So.
Yeah, and I don't see that ever happening in football because, like you said, they have that dominant field game, that the soccer, and they're all into that shit. I got family in Italy; they're always on social media posting that. I'm like, I can't get into that, man. It's too slow.
They say it's like the greatest thing to go to. Like to me, and Jimmy, you'll like this. Hockey live is the best sport to go to.
It is. It's it really between the hitting and it's just fast and it's nonstop, right? Yeah. Now, Frankie, has said we can go to Munich, to that big stadium. It's a beautiful stadium to go watch some soccer over there. Was it Bayern, Bayer, whatever it is, FC, whatever it is. It looked pretty cool. I didn't watch a game, but the stadium looked cool and it was huge. It was like an NFL stadium.
Yeah. I don't know if I shared this with you, Jimmy. I shared it to the audience before. Like the Cowboys are on a 1 year. They're on a 1 year contract with me right now.
Oh, really?
They're on 1 year. My season tickets, I'm going to renew them. I'm going to give them 1 year. I had a discussion with my agent, ticket agent, but if I don't see them active in free agency and doing what it takes to put together a winning team, this is going to be my last year's season tickets. I'll go back to buying the games that I go. But you know what I'm doing, Jimmy?
What are you doing?
I'm getting Lightning tickets. I'm going to go to more hockey games.
Really? Like
I'm
what?
A Lightning fan. What do you think?
Partial season ticket package?
It might be the Lightning Cave.
Yeah, you know what? The color, you got the colors. You're wearing the colors.
You got no colors. No, but it's like, hey, man, as a fan, we pay a premium.
Mike, you froze up.
I said that I'm paying. Can you hear me, Jimmy? Yeah, freeze for a second.
Yeah, there, you're good now.
Oh, there we go. Had a little glitch. I'm paying a premium price. I want the premium product.
No, and you know what? The Lightning, even losing Stamkos, and we're not getting an NHL talk, but they're in the playoff hunt. We're not. So, we're out right now. But you know what? For you, it's not far. It's not a far drive, and it's a good time. Like you said, it's fun and exciting to be at, and the Magic are too far away for you to go to.
Yeah. It's all right. Lightning, it's the experience. It's the experience. I heard that they're in trouble. Jimmy, what do you think about that with the Lightning? Are they in trouble? I heard that they're on their way to being in the cellar.
Well, they're past their prime, but they're still a good team. They're in the playoffs if the season ended.
Yeah, at least they had prime.
Exactly.
Had no prime.
Yeah, it's but that's a good investment. It's local, and what do you get, like a 20-game package or something? It's good.
Yeah. No, I do think the Cowboys are putting together a coaching staff, Ultra. I will say that I've read a lot. I'm not a coaching expert by any stretch, but I've read a lot of the coaches they've had that they've signed and kind of what their background is. Obviously, some of them I do know. So I'm giving them a chance. I think they're going to learn their lesson. I think the Super Bowl and everything that's happened this year, like I said it earlier, I think the one thing I'll give the Eagles credit for, and that Nick Sirianni talked about it, is the disappointment they had last year. Really, that was the driver for this team this year. And I think maybe the Cowboys, if they could do it, I'm talking about the Cowboys from the top of the organization down to the bottom. If they can look at what happened last year, and build off that and take that lesson, say, you know what, we've got to do this, we've got to do that, we've got to be better in free agency, we've got to do all the things that we need to do, then this year in the misery was well worth it. So.
No, I'll tell you, the thing with the Eagles too is they had a little locker room drama earlier in the season, but it wasn't like last year with the security guard and all the people talking noise. And so I think that also was a factor for them. They didn't have all that extra drama in the locker room.
Yeah, and I saw Star We Are is hanging out in the cave. We appreciate it. And unless something changes, I'll be in there. I'll be in the cave. Not in the cave. I'll be in there on their show. I'll be live in my cave, but I'll be on their show tomorrow night. And we'll be talking, I think, hopefully some Cowboys. I don't want to talk Eagles. I've said enough, but if I have to, I'll say more. But
I saw people,
we're still on. That'll be fun.
I saw people on social media dogging Dallas. They could add Kellen Moore as their coach moving in this season. I kind of laughed.
No. I think Kellen Moore is going to the Saints. Is that what you're seeing? So he's going to be in your division. So that's one less team you have to worry about.
You know what? That's right. Yeah, good. Yeah, man, culture. Man, everybody's going to be in there tomorrow night.
Are they going to be in there tomorrow? People are going to be hanging out, and it's at the Star We Are. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So make sure if you guys are hanging out in the cave, get over to Star We Are. Make sure you're a subscriber there too. Always supporting these guys that are all these content creators, man. Like I said, I love I watch more of this stuff. I'm like one of those incognito. I just kind of like just watch, while I'm at work, I have it in background and this and that. So I do try and catch, usually during the day is when I catch all the shows from all the great content creators out there. So make sure you check it out. What's that? I can't see it.
Jalen Hurts is officially nominated as the Black Trent Dilfer, according to Ultra. So wait a minute. So you're saying you're a voyeur? You're kind of just watching?
I don't really, I'm incognito. Like I was listening to Nick's. He does, and I don't know how to do them, but he does the, on YouTube or on Twitter, the spaces. And so I went on there, and then all of a sudden, you're visible to everyone. So then, I was like, he said, hey, come on. So I came on and we talked a little bit. It was a lot of fun, actually. I think those spaces are pretty cool. It's good opportunity. I mean, all this technology they got. I guess the point is there's no reason to watch the shitty ass ESPN and all that BS that all these other sports, channels, have. If you're looking for great content and interaction, there's plenty on YouTube and on Twitter and all these different platforms that you can go check things out.
I saw those.
Marge shot better than more.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Shotty's better than more. I agree.
I saw those spaces, but I never tried them before. You know what? I agree with you. That's why if you look, a lot of these, first of all, if you look at sports in general, minus football, because of the younger crowd, they just want to see shit. They want to see 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, highlights on their phones, on Instagram or X or whatever the hell it is. That's what they want to see, right? And so that's why ratings are down in some of these primetime sports that you're seeing. Furthermore, like you said, ESPN's ratings are down on all these other networks because of this. The Cowboys Cave and content from people that are regular people, not some schmuck who's, some talking head.
We speak from the heart. And hopefully Cuts he's learning more. Did he say content? I thought he said Cowboys Cave. I was hoping he said I learned more from the Cowboys Cave than the network. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. At least give us
his mind has betrayed him.
No, but we're gonna be, this channel is not going away. We're gonna be doing a lot of great things. We've got some more interviews lined up, get some other players back in the cave, kind of, we're gonna figure this thing out, but have some fun with it too. We're going to be doing a lot of draft stuff. I said it before, and I've got a few people. We've got some other spots open. Any of you guys that want to be part of a live mock draft, what we want is we want to get one for each pick. And you guys are going to come in the cave. You can either call in, or preferably we'd love you to dial, to come in through your phone or through your computer and be on video and all that. That makes it fun. Come in and do a pick. And we'll put all the names in a hat, and each one will get around, and you guys can go ahead and do that. So that's what we want to do. So if you want to do that, the easiest thing to do is you've got all our social media between Kelly, Jimmy, and myself is just message us and say, hey, man, I'm down for doing the draft. Put my name on the list. So we've got a few more spots available, and we'll probably do it maybe sometime in March. We'll get everything set up. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll have the video, up where you can see the picks, and we'll go through who you want and all that kind. We'll talk through your pick, and it'll be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, I tell you, think about it. So you got free agency in a month. Then a month after that, you got the draft, and then before you know it, it's camp. Yeah.
No, and Carl, as a Super Bowl winner, you get the 32nd pick. That's the problem. That's the problem. Jimmy, what did we used to say? Remember, and I used to get it a lot when the Cowboys were winning. You guys would, I'd crack and say, if my team did lost in the championship game or lost in the playoffs, and you guys didn't even make the playoffs, you had like 3 wins. The Falcons. What did you guys? Do you remember what you guys? The comeback always was.
Well, it depended. Did we beat you? Was it head to head?
No, not head to head. It was always, hey, you're sitting on the couch with us, but we got a higher draft pick. That's all it matters. You didn't win no chip. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's the beauty of being a champion is you always said Lombardi, and that's awesome. But you're bottom of the barrel of the draft. You got the last pick of the draft. So,
exactly. Unless but their front office is active. They might make a trade up. You never know.
Yeah. And Ultra, that is, I love the wide. Say that's the debate we have. Do you go wide receiver first? When I did running back first. By the time we got to our pick, the wide receivers weren't like the ones that you missed out on the really high ceiling guys. So I really think the Cowboys should go after a receiver first and come back and get Hampton. The only thing that worries me about Hampton is, are these teams seeing the running backs and seeing how important the running backs are? And could Hampton slip into that first round? No one thought Gibbs was going to go as high as that. Bijan Robinson. Yeah. I mean, did you think he was going to go there at 7? Or I think it was top 10 pick for you guys. Yes. So the running backs are becoming more of a premium. It's getting back to the old days, Jimmy. The old Jim. We're getting back into the old days.
Get the blood, sweat, and tears.
Are in the first round. You're getting more and more. So,
Carl, we talked about that already. You got to tune in on time.
Yeah, if you're coming here late to the party, you can't be adding all that shit that we've already discussed. You have to go back and watch it, and then you'll see what we said.
Look, Carl's trying to create friction, trying to have some animosity between Mike Tag and that's not happening.
That's not happening. We got no issues.
Hey Mike, place is going to be happening.
It's going to be happening. Did you go down to Pickles in New Orleans? Yeah. You got down to Pickles.
Carl, did you go?
Yeah, Doug agrees. He thinks Hampton's going to go in the first. So that's where you're going to. That's where it's going to be.
All right. So. See, Carl, we'll take your apology. We accept it.
All right.
It's all good.
That's fine.
Hampton.
Hey,
now
Hampton found time to come in and get his flowers, right? He's enjoying himself. You're enjoying the Super Bowl. Yeah. Sleeping with the trophy and doing all that stuff. And you said, you know what? I got to come in the cave. I've been talking a lot of shit, but I've been taking a lot of shit from everyone. Now's the time for me to puff out my chest and say, hey, I told you guys. And you did. You told us. No,
Carl, we're not talking about that you like the pickle. It's a
bar. That's Pickles. A big club out there. Pickles. That's a club. They have pickles. They have rock candy. They got bootleggers. Yep. They got the porthole.
The porthole was great. Yeah.
It costs $2. I mean, it's $2 to get into the porthole.
Yeah, that's some old school shit. Between runs and reception, 500 carries.
Yeah,
28 years old and running ball. Yeah, you know what?
That's the reality. I hate, right, Jimmy? I mean, that's the reality of it.
It's unfortunate,
Yeah,
it's and that's the thing, and that's the thing. Unfortunately, it's a business, and that's why, like Mike says, you get when you can get. Like I said, Algier from Falcon, he's a starting running back anywhere. He'll be available, but you can draft running backs.
But I mean, their money's tied to Barkley. That's a lot of tread on that tire this year. And usually those guys that produce that much in 1 year, next year is not the same. And that is that's a tough thing.
Well, I got news for you.
McCoy's an asshole. So he's the biggest clown that there is. So I'm glad. I'm surprised those alligator arms reached in the pocket to pick up the tab. I'm sure someone got screwed on that tab. I bet you he walked out of there and left somebody holding the bag. So we'll see what happens.
See, too cheap. Is he getting the mozzarella sticks in the water at Denny's at 2 a.m.?
That's probably what he's doing. So.
You know what, though? But to that point, imagine the Eagles don't get Saquon Barkley. If the Giants, do what they were supposed to have done and get, that's a different ball game. I'm sorry. We could talk about the Eagles defense. Without Barkley, that team ain't in the Super Bowl. No, not even close.
They don't even get there. And I think any Eagle fan would acknowledge that. And that's a credit to their organization. And you got to give credit to the GM. They saw a need and they addressed the need. And they addressed it in a big way. And I think that's where the Cowboys, the Falcons, all these teams that, didn't make it, the 49ers, I mean, they all got to look in the mirror. They got to say, okay, this is what they did. We got to be aggressive. I mean, you cannot rely on the draft to build your team, and into a winner. It's just, it doesn't work. You got to have the draft, but you got to mix in some legitimate free agents. Not they have to be the top guys, but it's got to be that second level. It's got to be that second level,
Hey, Bugsy, that's preempted for us. That doesn't come on the air till the Cowboys cave is off the air. So you can stay with us, and then that'll come on when we're done. He's watching a
scripted show. This is live. This is real talk.
This is professional.
Oh man, I did see that they brought the Dark Side of the Ring. They have a whole new series coming out.
I love that.
It's a great show. The
story's depressing. It's depressing.
The story's the same though, isn't it? The rise the fall, they're living in a trailer, lost everything. I mean, it's just that's the tough part.
It's all hookers and drugs. It's the same story over and over, right?
Yeah.
Although this like Jake the Snake, Dominic was watching a Jake the Snake one, and what a shit show upbringing that guy had. His old man was crazy. Just you feel for some of those guys.
Yeah.
Right.
No. And I do have to say something, Jimmy. You weren't on last week's show, but I have to do a public service.
I was on last Monday.
Were you on with Uncle Cheech? You weren't on Monday.
Yeah, I was on. Absolutely,
No.
I was. Yeah.
With Uncle Cheech?
Yeah.
This last Monday?
Yeah, when he couldn't, when he didn't have the link. Remember, he was all.
No, you weren't on this last Monday. I had to do it by myself.
No, that was 2 Mondays ago.
Oh,
Last
so
Monday
you were on.
Yeah,
were you on with Uncle Cheech?
Yeah, when he didn't have the link, and he said he didn't have the link and all
that. So he said some words, and I got some emails from the state of South Carolina. Uncle Cheech said back in the day, some redneck towns. He was talking about South Carolina. That was the no reflection of the Cowboys came. Uncle Cheech apologizes for his choice of words. Hopefully, the state of South Carolina can forgive him. It's a beautiful town. I've been there. Beautiful state. I mean, great cities, great towns. I even look interested in getting a place out there. I have a cabin in North Georgia, and I'm like, if I get older and older, and depending on where the kids end up, South Carolina, it's a nice town, good value, nice areas, cost of living's low. So I'm like, well, that might be a place I may settle down.
And we're all about value here.
Yes.
You guys got to know that by now. And you know what? South Carolina is nice. And again, what Uncle Cheech said, not representative of Mike Tag, Jimmy Dee, the Cowboys gave.
Or the fine people.
Of the fine people of the state of South Carolina. I tell you, it's fun. We've been down to obviously, Myrtle Beach, which is place is happening. But it's just, it's cool. I like stopping in those little towns and checking things out. It's fun.
Oh, absolutely. So, and it's less than 3 hours from our cabin. So it's like, it works out perfectly. So actually, was looking at that. So
well, it's funny every time, and this is not specifically, I've never been to the cabin yet, but every time I think of a cabin out in the woods, I think of Deliverance.
I thought you were saying Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Or what was the other one? It was one with John Candy.
Great Outdoors.
Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
Great movie. Yeah. South of the border. That's right. Pay every 50 miles you had the billboard for Pedro and south of the border. Yeah, that was absolutely.
But yeah, so I mean it's awesome, and I'm looking for. I think the icon. I'm going up to the cabin in April. I'm going to go up there for like a week. Going to work up there, and then make a long weekend out of it. Then my daughter is going to school in Georgia, so we got to go down to do a little tour. So I'm going to meet them down there. I got a little show in Atlanta. So if any of my Cowboy Nation friends in the Atlanta area, I'll be there in April. Meet up for a beer or something would be cool. So be traveling around a little bit, Jimmy. Now Bobby's in there. Now Bobby is coming late. Easy, Bobby. We gave you the love. I'm not going to talk about it all over again. Go back and watch the beginning of the show. I even said your name. I even said Carl and Bobby.
Yes.
We gave you both the credit. So congratulations.
I know that when after that game last night, Bobby was down to here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, wait a minute. How far? So I want to ask. So she going to Valdosta State?
Yes.
So you want a little trivia? I got into Valdosta State. I opted for UM, and that's why I'm an alumni there.
That was one of your. Schools?
I got accepted to there also. Yeah, and I opted for UM.
The good thing with that school is it's a small college, but it gives you Braves game. If there's a Braves game there, I'm definitely down. I'll have to check my schedule. It's a small school, and but it has the football team. It has all the sports, so it gives you everything. It's got a great medical program, that's what she's doing. So. It's really, and it's only 4 hours from our house. It's halfway to our cabin. So like if we go up for the weekend, go see her, and then we can go up to the cabin. Stuff like that. So.
Thanks for your service, SoCal.
Yes. The Marine, the Army, they were after me when I was in high school. I had all of them. Army, Air Force, Marines, all of them they wanted to recruit me. And
you were a 5-star recruit.
I was. You know why? Because my grades suck. That's what happened. When your grades suck, man, they all come after you. I was like,
so I got
an ASVAB test. I did not want to go to the military. I respect the military. I love it. It's just not for me. Like, I'm not a violent, like I don't know if I could, I don't know if I could shoot somebody. I guess if someone's trying to shoot me, I guess I have to, but
That's right.
I don't know if I have that in me. I have a hard time killing bugs, but, so they wanted me, and they were at my house and then this and that. And I'm like, and I can't say no to people. So I'm like, yeah. So they said, well, just take the ASVAB and, they'll see where you're at. So I go take the ASVAB test, and I just Christmas tree it, and the guy comes to my class, and he sees me, he goes, Mike, he goes, man, we got your scores back. He goes, were you not feeling, everything? I mean, did you really, try? He goes, your score was like the lowest in school. I said, man, God, I'm studying. And I said, I guess I just couldn't figure some of that stuff out. So I ended up, they never called me again. They never bothered me again. That was the only way I could, get out of them, from the military. But I was, like I said, it just wasn't, it's not my DNA, but I love the hell out of the military.
Well, do you remember our friend who was in the Navy? Initials ML, Mark.
Oh yeah.
So I actually went down to the Navy office and did all the things, and I aced the test, right? And then I kind of like, I got cold feet and all that shit. And I remember like I ghosted the recruiter, right? Like I could have been a stand-up guy, I'd just been a man, but I was at home, and dude pulls up, starts knocking on the door. I'm like, oh shit, and I'm hiding, like, oh God, he's gonna leave me for dead. But yeah, so you know what it was, because he said when he was in the Navy, man, he got to see the world for free, which to me sounded pretty cool.
No, it is cool. I mean, I just worry about wartime. I mean, I think that stuff's good, but I was, you and I graduated. You graduated a year before me, I think, but
92.
It was the Gulf War was
Yes.
going on. We had that. I remember in high school, they stopped. I was at a wrestling match, and they stopped everything and like, hey, we just, we're going to war right now. I mean, missiles fired, and it was like stop, everything and all that kind of stuff. And it was just that time, and my dad was like, Dad, no, and it just, and I just don't know if like I said, it's just not in my blood.
My folks weren't a big fan either at that point, but
yeah.
So what was this? So you saw Iraq and Afghanistan multiple times.
Yeah.
Jeez, God bless you.
Yeah.
Man.
And I mean, and then like what a lot of those guys, I mean, Bushwick Bill used to talk about it is, when they come back, the stuff you're going through, and is the government helping you, and you got all these guys, these veterans that some of them, man, it's that PTSD and all that stuff that they didn't really, talk about like back in the day. And these guys are struggling. And I remember my grandfather was in he was in the war, and he ended up being a really bad alcoholic. Right. And my brother and I were talking about it, and it was like, he was telling stories. I never knew this. So my brother was telling me he was in the planes, like shooting and, doing all that stuff. And did that lead him to that? All the things that he did and saw, but no one, they just brushed it off back in the day. And now you got all these veterans, and they don't give them the treatment. They don't give them the support. And then I don't want to get all this craziness, and then when you see our country just giving all this money to all these weird, services and this and that, and you got your people in your homeland that are struggling, like SoCal. Not that he's struggling, but he understands with the VA and all of that. It's heartbreaking, man. It's terrible. It's just,
So my wife, her grandfather was in Korea, and he never wanted to talk about it. You couldn't engage him in. Every so often he'd tell maybe a couple of the funny stories, but beyond that, he wanted no part of it.
Yeah. Now, most like a lot of our friends, their parents were in Vietnam, and one of our really good friends, his dad would never. I don't even know if he talked about it to this day. I've never asked him, but when we were a kid, when you heard about it, hey man, he never would talk about it. Never would talk about it.
Ultra testified in front of the Senate. Damn, man.
Did he?
Was that on C-SPAN? Ultra, you got to tell us the video.
I got to get a clip. I know he's got a video of it. Make sure. I want a cut of it so we can put it on the show. Exactly. I want that culture of cuts. I want the video. I want the breakdown. I want to see how you did. That's a hard thing for Cuts and I is we're going to this Hall of Fame induction. I gotta wear my suit. I gotta wear a sport coat. You got to be dressed up. I'm gonna a lot of people hadn't seen me without a hat. They're going to see that, see my big forehead and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be, I got to figure out what to do, man. I'm nervous.
Oh, you fixed up all nice and handsome.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's going to be fun though. And you got a nice date. Got a good looking date to go with.
I'm excited.
I'm jealous.
Eugene is a friend of mine and friend of the show, and he's a good guy, great guy. Obviously, football has taken a number on him. I mean, I think he's always been open about it, talked about it. From a lot of the injuries and the concussions and things like that. So he's so excited for this honor. So I'm, for him to invite us, there was no way that I was going to miss out on it. So definitely excited.
You know what? Overdue.
Yeah.
It's overdue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So why did it take this long? I mean,
it's just, that's why some of these guys,
politics, man.
Especially right, and LaDainian Tomlinson is inducted. It's going to be LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, I can get something for you, Jimmy. Larry Johnson. I mean, New York
really
is going to be there.
In?
So yeah, if you need me, maybe Cuts can do like a New York Knicks cut, and maybe we get Larry Johnson or someone to sign it for you.
You see, that's how you see. Mike Tag has smarts.
I'm
like
thinking about these things. I think about these things for Jimmy. Always looking out for you. And of course, what's the one thing whenever I say I'm going to somewhere and there's athletes, who's the first one of our crew?
Danny?
Yeah. I'm going to give you like 5 of these cars. I'm going to be coming in with 2 duffel bags. Coming in.
Right. He's got suitcases full of memorabilia.
What the hell's going on around here?
About 2 months ago, I'm sitting there and I start getting pictures of our friend who's, pictures with him and Jeremy Roenick. Who else? It was
he did the golf thing.
Brett
NBA
Hall. Brett Hall. But who else? There was some NBA play. There was
John Smoltz. There was Tony Kukoc. There was
Kukoc. That's his. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
He went and he just.
He has a way with it, man. He got me Vince Coleman. That's why I owe him. He got me Vince Coleman. He got me Tim Brown autograph for I'm on a rookie card, so I owe him. Yeah, Darren Woodson is a travesty. I talked a lot about it on Sunday morning. Just disappointing about Woody. I mean, hopefully, they get it right. But they only put 4 guys in the Hall of Fame, Jimmy. I mean, you could get up to say, I don't know why. And I look, we grew up with Sterling Sharp. That was he was phenomenal. Injuries took his toll. But if you're going to put him in with that short of a career, obviously they did it with Baselli and they'll probably do it with Kuechly. I mean, he deserves it. But I mean, what about Eric Williams? I mean, Woodson, I'm sure, there might be some Falcons, that may be into that area as well. Is Jesse Tuggle in the Hall of Fame?
No.
See, he's a guy that I would
Ring of Honor, not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So. I don't understand like what the parameters are, what they wait for. I don't get it.
I think it's a lot of I think Sterling Sharp got in because of Shannon Sharp and his speech, and then a lot of Shannon Sharp's in the Ed Too Tall Jones. I've done shows on that. Thank you, because he's enough. I mean, there we can go down the list of guys, and I just don't know why they don't get it right. And I know it's hard, but you had an opportunity. They could have put 3 more guys in this year, and to try and because next year the backlog it's going to get. It's going to get bigger and bigger, the backlog of it. The only thing I was cool to see is I didn't think Eli Manning deserved it. So at least he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. I know he'll get in eventually, I'm sure, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
I had to send you something. I had thought about it when you mentioned Jesse Tuggle. 10 minutes after the fact, he went to Valdosta State and they retired his number.
Yeah, I knew he did. Yeah, he did. I saw that because I always look up famous people from that. There's another person from Valdosta, either an actor or singer or somebody I forgot from that area. So
really,
anyway,
all
right, Jimmy. Well, we are running over time. I'm missing below deck, but wanted
they preempt that for the cave.
We want to have a great time. We had an awesome time. Like I said, I'll be doing some other maybe shows this week. We'll be back on Wednesday. I'm not sure our off-season schedule. We got to talk through it, figure it out. Maybe we'll do. alternate shows or shorter shows, something like that. But we'll figure something out because things are. What I try and do is in the off season, because I go so heavy, is I got to overload on my work. And then that way I got more free time when I'm doing this at night. But definitely appreciate all the love. And again, all you guys, 240 plus of you guys that are still hanging out with us, man, the best thing you can do if you love the show, support the show, is to hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up right down, below the video on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. Like the video. Hit the alert button. Hit that subscribe. Share it on social media. Let everyone know about the cave. It's the best way to get the word out. It's still, to this day, there's people we pick up new subscribers all the time. We got over 240 new subscribers over the last 3 weeks, and it's a big thanks to you guys in the show. And probably, like I said, misery loves company. You got the Falcons, the Cowboys here, so might as well just enjoy ourselves while the Eagles are hoisting up their Lombardi. That sucks. So subscribe, absolutely. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Cuts. And thank you, Ultra, everyone in the cave, all you guys, man. We appreciate it. Jimmy, any last words?
No, fun time as always. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. And misery. You know what? Hey, we all commiserated with each other this evening.
We'll have some fun. We're going to having some fun, man. It'll be
exactly
good. All right. We'll see you guys, man. Take care. See you.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.